I only had to travel for one night. I thought I was lucky that there was no one else in the compartment with me. You never know if you'll get lucky with your neighbors or not. I appreciate people like me. Those who want to get some sleep on the road, not chat the whole way. And that time there was no one at all. Perfect. I had some tea, read a little, and turned off the light. I fell asleep. I always slept well on trains. As long as no one disturbed me, of course, the clatter of the wheels lulled me to sleep. Being alone in an empty compartment, for the first time I was able to feel the romance of train travel that people always talk about. But as soon as I fell asleep, I had a nightmare. A faceless person appeared in my compartment. Instead of eyes, a nose, and a mouth, there was some kind of static like TV interference, as if his head was trembling at a furious speed. The person came closer to my bunk, rummaging around at my feet. I wasn't very scared. I was sure it was just a dream. Then I heard the door slide open and slam shut. That made me wake up. It was still night. I turned on the light. There was no one else in the compartment with me. Was it just a dream? Wait, where are my clothes? My pants, tank top, shoes, hoodie? My stuff was stolen. I didn't have any spares with me. But who would want them old, worn-out clothes? Was someone playing a prank? I wrapped myself in a blanket and peeked into the corridor. "Conductor," I called out. "Quiet, quiet. People are sleeping." An elderly man in glasses whispered. Apparently not everyone is sleeping. My clothes were stolen. I protested indignantly. "Who?" The conductor asked in surprise. "How should I know who? I wanted to ask you." The man grunted. "Did you look carefully?" I was starting to get angry. "I'm telling you, my clothes were taken. I saw someone in my compartment. Someone came in, rummaged around my bunk. I thought I was dreaming. I wake up, and my things are gone." The conductor grunted again. "Why didn't you lock up for the night?" I hesitated. I thought I had locked the door before going to bed. "All right," the conductor said. "Someone's just messing around. We'll sort it out now. We'll find your things. Please don't worry and don't disturb the others. Let's not make a fuss. It's night after all." I held myself back from arguing. A couple of minutes later, the man came to my compartment and brought me a pair of pants, a t-shirt, and some socks. "These aren't my clothes," I said. "Not yours," the conductor nodded. "I just brought them for now. Maybe you'll want to get dressed while we're trying to sort out the mess. Turns out you're not the only one whose things were taken. Sorry about this, we'll find the troublemaker." The man left the pile of clothes on my bunk and walked out. I didn't feel like sleeping anymore. I was full of anger. I decided to sit and wait until they found my clothes, and to stay alert. I put on someone else's pants and t-shirt. I couldn't just sit there in my underwear with the door open. A boy of about 10 peeked into my compartment. "Hello," he said. "Hi," I replied. "Let's play cards," the boy suggested. "What cards? It's 3 in the morning, go to sleep." "I don't want to. You're not sleeping, I'm not sleeping. Let's play." "All right," I agreed. "Give me your cards." I thought maybe it wouldn't be so bad to kill some time playing a game. I was always lucky at cards. I thought I'd let the kid win, let him have some fun. But this boy turned out to be a tough opponent. He beat me twice in a row. At the same time, he didn't show any childish joy at winning. He beat me with a bored look, as if he was used to it. "Were you scared of him?" the kid asked, just in passing. "Who?" I didn't understand. "Well, the one who took your clothes," the boy clarified. I thought he must have overheard my conversation with the conductor. But still, he was a strange child. So calm, so composed. He talked to me as an equal. When I was little, I acted like an adult. What do I have to be afraid of? I shrugged. But you don't see people without faces every day, do you? The boy asked, once again finishing the game with a win. And there is something to be afraid of. You were lucky you woke up in time. Otherwise, we might not be talking right now. Those words made me shudder. I had thought that I just imagined it in the dark or dreamed it, and I started babbling. How do you know? Did you see him too? That can't be possible. What do you mean, people without faces? People always have faces. I've seen a lot of them, I can sense them. The boy replied as he dealt the cards, even though I was supposed to do it as the loser. There are 4 of them on our train, and what they're planning to do to us is really scary. And how do I know? I know a lot of things. Things that others don't know. For example, I know our whole game in advance, that's why I keep beating you. All right, kid, cut it out, I said. Don't act like... I know all your cards. The boy interrupted me. Want me to name them? And he listed my cards one by one. That's exactly how it was. Little cheat, I thought. Looking at the backs, he marked the cards and is playing me for a fool. Little brat, are you some kind of psychic? Like on TV? I asked. Come on. I'll think of a number from 1 to 100, and you guess it. 26, the kid said. I was stunned, because I really had thought of 26. What about now? I asked and thought of 81. 81, the boy said confidently. Well, I'll be, I exclaimed in surprise. How about I think of a random word? Can you guess it? The boy's face darkened. Excuse me, of course, but that's rude of you. I came here to help and you think badly of me? The kid said. It was warm in the compartment, even a bit stuffy, but I felt a chill run through me. What kind of boy is this? Anyway, if he's telling the truth, then I really did see what I saw. A faceless man stole my clothes, and he's dangerous too. And there are 4 of them on the train. All right, tell me, what makes them so dangerous? I asked. The boy looked at me from under his brows. His eyes were big and green. I pushed aside my prejudices about kids and started paying close attention to every word he said. Listen, this is very important. In 15 minutes at 3:38, there's going to be a train crash and some people will die. This train will go off the rails. Do you understand? My knees started to shake. I wanted to doubt the boy's words, but I couldn't. Something inside me told me he was telling the truth. How do we stop it? I asked. Let's tell the conductor to pull the emergency brake, I said. No, the boy replied. There's no way to stop it. There are things that simply can't be changed. You don't need to waste your time on this. The train will derail no matter what we do, and what we need to do is try to survive the crash. Whether we survive or someone else does instead of us, it doesn't really matter. It's only important to us. Are you saying those faceless ones are going to cause the accident? I asked. The boy shook his head. No, they're just taking advantage of the situation. They know about the disaster too and want to use it to replace a few people on this train. Some will die in it, but the bodies won't be identified because these creatures will become those people. They'll take their appearance, all their memories, and live in their place. All of this sounded like nonsense to me, but I kept listening. So who are they? These 4? They're nobody yet, the boy said. Blanks. They don't have anything of their own, no faces, no lives. They just exist. That's why they need to take someone else's place. They always show up where there's going to be a disaster, chaos, where a substitution won't be noticed or people won't want to notice it. Why? For what purpose? Well, what's your purpose? They just want to live, to have a place in the world just like you do. And they've already picked out the people whose lives they'll take over. That's why they stole your clothes and mine too. It was only now that I noticed the boy's t-shirt didn't fit him and his pants were way too big. So the guide is in cahoots with them? I asked. The boy nodded. He's one of them. He's already been replaced. So the real guide is already dead. He helps the others because he still remembers that he was just a shell not long ago. But soon he'll forget, and after the catastrophe, he'll be just like a regular person. The kid kept glancing at his smartwatch, which looked huge on his little wrist. I figured he was keeping track of how much time was left until the train crashed. I believed that none of this was just an act. So what do we do? I asked. My voice was trembling. Aren't you scared at all? I am, the boy replied in a calm tone. Of course I'm scared, especially because I know what those idiots will try to do to us. It would be better for them if we died before the crash. They'll try to kill us and mutilate our bodies beyond recognition, so there won't be any mix-ups. After the crash, there will be 4 corpses. It'll be either us or them. They'll want to play it safe and come here. That's why it's better for us to lock ourselves in. Why didn't you say so right away? I jumped up from the table. You wouldn't have wanted that, and they would have started trying to break in right away, the boy said. I slid the door shut, and for a split second, it seemed to me that a person appeared on the threshold, their face twitching spasmodically, like static on a TV screen. And I think they were wearing my clothes. The hoodie was definitely mine. Creepy. My heart almost jumped out of my chest. I snapped the lock shut and glanced back at the boy. He had wrapped himself in a blanket like a cocoon. You'd better hold the door. They'll come in if they want to. Let's just try to survive. Now there was a note of anxiety in the boy's voice. He was scared just like me, and that made sense. The conductor must have a key to all the compartments. And probably that faceless one had already gone to get his accomplice. The train was speeding along. Could it really derail at this speed? Then we're all done for. They started trying to force the door from the other side, yanking the handle, scraping at it with a key. I held the lock with numb fingers. Realizing they couldn't budge the door, they gave up trying to break into the compartment. It seemed like they decided to try negotiating. There was a knock at the door. Sir, do you hear me, sir? We've cleared up the misunderstanding. Your clothes have been found. Open up. It was the conductor's voice. I looked at the boy. He shook his head. I didn't say anything. The door rattled again from the knocking. Listen, you must be scared. The other passengers are scared too. That hooligan in the mask was walking around, scaring people and stealing their clothes. But the transport police have already dealt with him. Please open up, take your things, and return the ones I gave you. This is my colleague's clothing from the next car. They were trying to pull the wool over my eyes. I held the door as tightly as I could. The boy glanced at his watch, closed his eyes, and started counting backwards out loud. 50, 49, 48, 47. The knocking on the door grew louder, and the conductor's tone became harsher. Sir, there's a boy in there with you. You've locked yourself in a compartment with someone else's child. Do you understand how this looks? Let's not worry his parents. Open the door. You have no right to lock yourself in a compartment with someone else's child. I'm going to call the police now. The sly bastard found a new excuse to come in here. I was holding the lock, sweating all over. 37, 36, 35. The kid was counting. Sir, the police are coming here. You're going to have serious problems. The fake conductor threatened me. Listen to me. That boy who's with you in the compartment is mentally unstable. His mother asked us to keep an eye on him so he wouldn't wander around the train at night. I don't know what he's told you, but please use your own judgment. What's wrong with you? 24, 23. The boy was counting, not reacting to anything. There really was something crazy about it. The door rattled under heavy blows, and a rough male voice boomed from behind it. "Open up right now. Police." I held the lock, tense all over, even my toes curled up. You can't trust them. They were going to kill us, mutilate our bodies beyond recognition. And then one of them would step into my life, marry my girlfriend. My wedding is soon. I'm on my way to her. 7, 6, 5, 4. I squeezed my eyes shut. 2, 1, 0. The boy finished counting. Nothing happened. I looked at the boy. He was looking at me, blinking his eyes. God, what a disgrace. You little brat. I blurted out. I released the lock and slid the door aside. The kid screamed. Standing on the threshold were the conductor, some unfamiliar man, and 2 more people without faces, their heads trembling. One of them was wearing my clothes, the other was small, like a 10-year-old boy. The next moment, the rails screeched. The car jolted so hard that I was thrown up to the ceiling. I hit my head, and everything went dark. Cold. That was the first thing I felt. Wet drops were falling on my face. I was being carried on a stretcher. I opened my eyes and saw the dark sky, the flashing lights of emergency vehicles. I heard the wail of sirens, people screaming. The stretcher was set down on the ground. A young woman in a blue uniform leaned over me. "Can you hear me?" Her voice sounded like it was coming from the bottom of a well. "Why, yes," I replied. "You're lucky. Doesn't look like you broke anything," she said. "How do you feel?" "My head hurts." My skull really was throbbing. I had hit my head. I sat up and looked around. It was total chaos all around. There were dozens of vehicles. Not far away, a train was lying on its side. They were carrying people out of it on stretchers. Others were just being led out, supported by the arm. Lie down, don't get up. Someone will be with you in a moment." There are still people over there who need help. The 2 who carried me out, along with that girl, laid me down on a tarp, grabbed the stretcher, and ran back to the train. I didn't want to just lie there. My body was fine, only my head was splitting. I sat up again and saw a woman nearby hugging a child. "Where have you been, silly?" the woman cried. "I fell off my bunk. I was looking for you in the dark, and you were nowhere to be found." I nearly lost my mind. "And what's that you're wearing? What are those men's pants? Where did you get all that?" "Oh, what a mess." I took a closer look. It was that boy. Turns out he saved my life, and I called him a brat, and I still haven't even asked his name. Just the boy, and that's it. I got to my feet. Luckily, I could stand and keep my balance. I walked over to Mom and the kid. "Hey kid, thank you. Sorry for the way I acted. Anyway, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm glad you're okay too." The boy looked at me sternly and didn't say anything. I thought, so he is upset after all. His mother looked at me suspiciously. "And who are you?" "Me?" "Yeah, your son and I were playing cards." Before I could finish, the woman turned to the boy. "Do you know him?" The kid shook his head. "So that's how it is." All right then, I thought, and decided not to bother them anymore. It was cold. The wind was tugging at the strings of my hoodie. I looked at myself. Wait, I was wearing my own clothes. How is that even possible? Could it be that I... No, that can't be. I'm not a fake. I'm real. Otherwise, I'd remember something weird. But I remember my whole life. My wedding is coming up soon. Or maybe I just hit my head. That's all. What happened on the train was just a dream. That's why that kid didn't recognize me. I probably just saw him by chance before the accident. That's why he showed up in my dream. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I just hit my head. That's all.